Hello everyone, so today I am going to be doing my full August wrap up. I had an amazing August month. I am so happy with how much I read. I read 8 books, including 2 graphic novels this month, and I couldn't be happier. We did have the readathon last week, so that obviously helped a lot. I got 4 things read last week. I got 2 graphic novels and 2 books read last week. I've done a wrap up just for that, so I will leave that linked in the description below as well for you. So without further ado, let's get started. The first book I read was Harry Potter and the Cursed Child by J.K. Rowling, Jack Thorne and John Tiffany. And right, okay, I appreciate this for what it is. It's a script, it's not a full novel or anything like that. It is a script for a stage production. It was never going to be descriptive or anything like that because it is just dialogue. However, I did like the little stage directions and things like that. That was quite good. I really enjoyed this. I know a lot of people had a lot of issues with it. I did have some issues with it. It wasn't perfect by any means, but I did still really enjoy it, and that's why I give it 4 stars. I have done a full review of this in a separate video, so I will link that in the description box below as well, so you can go check that out and see all of my thoughts and the problems I had with it, because yeah, I really enjoyed it, but yes, I did have some problems with it as well. The next book I read was Dream House by Marcia Bisognin. I need to work out how to pronounce that name, so sorry if I pronounced that wrong. So this is about a lady called Amethyst who comes across the house of her dreams, and she gets invited into this house because she is outside and there's a storm started, so the people in that house invite her in. She ends up staying the night as the storm doesn't clear or anything, so they says yes, you can just stay the night, and so she stays the night but then wakes up in the morning completely alone. And Amethyst then goes to try and work out what's happening. While she's working out all of this, she comes across some really strange people, some really strange happenings, keeps getting some creepy messages on the way, and she just has no idea what's going on, but she can't leave this house. Like, she seems just too intrigued by it. Now, if it was me, and the things were happening to me that are happening in this book to her, I would probably run a mile. She didn't, and that kind of confused me a little bit. But other than that, yeah, really good story, really enjoyed it. The plot was really, really good. I really liked the plot. However, I didn't feel like we got to know Amethyst that well, like at all. We didn't get to know anything about her past, where she's come from, where she's from at all. Like, we just didn't get anything like that, and I found that quite strange when I was reading it because I wanted to know more about her. However, I did still like her character, and I also really liked Alfred's character. Now, Alfred is a gardener for the house that she is staying in, and he never seems to leave. He's just always there, and she finds that slightly odd, and she keeps hearing things from other people about him, some creepy things from the past, that kind of stuff, his past, what he's done in the past. And we do actually get to find out a lot about Alfred, and I really like that, and he was very descriptive as well, so I could picture him really well, unlike Amethyst, who was kind of just a bit of a guess. The writing style in this book was descriptive enough for most of it, for the plot and for some of the characters, and I could follow it really easily, and it was a nice short book, so I flew through it. It is only, I'll just check how much it is, I think it's just over 200 pages, and yeah, I just flew through it. Yeah, 213 pages, really quick read, and different to what I've read before as well, very different from what I've read before, so yeah, really enjoyed this. Just like I said, descriptions for some certain characters weren't good enough for me personally. The story did keep me hooked. I was engaged the whole way through, and it also got me asking a lot of questions as well. Now, I like reading books that get me to ask loads of questions, and because of that, I didn't want to put it down. I just wanted to keep reading until I had all the answers. That to me is a really good read. So yeah, I give this book 4 out of 5 stars. Really enjoyed it, but like I said, some descriptions with certain characters weren't descriptive enough for me. Other than that, yeah, really enjoyed it, really good book. The next book I read was my reread for the month, and that was Pig Heart Boy by Mallory Blackman. I couldn't remember that much about this book from the first time I read it, so I went into it knowing a little bit but not too much. I loved this. I actually can't believe I couldn't remember much about it because it was such a good book, and it was just beautifully written and easy to understand as well. Now, this is about Cameron, who is 13 years old and is in need of a heart transplant. It doesn't look good for him. There doesn't seem to be any hearts that are matching, and so he only has a certain amount of time to live. But his dad then gets in touch with an outside doctor, and this outside doctor gets in contact with him saying, we have a heart that would be a match. But this heart isn't from a human, it's from a pig. Callum does decide to go through with everything, and it's just kind of about how he deals with this new heart and what other people are thinking about him as well, because he has a lot of rubbish from people at school and press and things like that, and it's how he deals with that and also how his family deal with that as well. I love how Mallory Blackman can write really important topics and put them in a way that younger readers can understand no problem. This is actually a children's book, I think. I don't think this is a YA or adult. I know it's definitely not an adult. I don't think it's YA either. I think it's more of like your middle grade kind of read. So this is perfectly written for younger readers, but it's also a book where older readers can read it and really appreciate it as well. The characters were really well developed. We got to know lots about every single character and how they were and their personalities and how they got along with each other or didn't get along with each other. And I love how Cameron really spoke his mind as well. He's only 13 and he just did not let anybody tell him what they thought was right. It's fine if they think something's right, but if he doesn't think it's right, he doesn't have to go with what they say. And he will do things how he wants to do things. At the same time, you could still see his innocence, and you never forgot he was only 13. He did still have a lot of innocence about him, and I just found that really beautiful, how you can mix the two and it really works. You could also tell how much Cameron's family and friends meant to him as well through his dialogue and the way he was with them. And I always love family elements in stories, so that was really, really lovely for me to read. It was a really captivating plot, and there was always things just around the corner to stir things up, things like press and all that lot. And it was just exciting all the way through. I never got bored. Again, it's a nice short book and I flew through it. It was just a really, really good read. I give this 5 out of 5 stars because I enjoyed it that much. I don't really give that many 5 out of 5 star ratings, but this really deserved it for me. The next book I read, and the final book I read before the readathon happened, was Since You've Been Gone by Morgan Matson. Now, I really enjoyed this book, but I don't see the massive hype around it. So this is about 2 girls called Emily and Sloane disappears without telling Emily where she's going at all for the whole summer. Now these two have a summer plan, so Emily is sort of sitting there like, what on earth is happening, where is she? But Sloane has left her a bucket list, and on the bucket list there are, I can't remember how many things are on the bucket list actually, I'll just quickly check. There are 13 things on the bucket list, so Emily thinks that if she completes this list, this will bring Sloane back. But the things on the bucket list are not necessarily things she is comfortable doing. So there's things like skinny dipping, kiss a stranger, ride a horse is another one, she's scared of horses. So it's things she would never usually do. But during her summer she makes a whole new group of friends, as well as obviously Sloane's not there. And they really help her out, and it was nice to see that they helped her out and she didn't have to do everything on her own. I really liked reading about all the characters, and I thought they were well developed, but I just didn't feel like I was getting attached to any of them. And if you've been watching my videos for a while, you will know I love getting attached to characters. I loved following Emily through her summer and all the different things she had to do. Some of them were really funny. It was really written in some really amusing ways, and that kind of give the story a different element as well, because obviously this is about a girl who's trying to get a friend back, so it's kind of sad at the same time, but the way it was written with some of the tasks she had to do was just really funny. And it was lovely to see a friend supporting her throughout the whole thing as well, because I think that really helped her out. The writing was really easy to follow, it was really simple, I didn't feel like I was getting lost at all, and this book didn't take me that long to read at all, and this is a more of a chunkier book. It really didn't take me that long to read, so I was happy about that. However, I am not a fan of long chapters, and this was absolutely full of long chapters, so that was kind of annoying, but what can you do? It was still a good story. But yeah, like I said at the beginning, I didn't see the massive hype around this book. This book gets a lot of mention on BookTube, and everybody seems to really love it. I wouldn't say I loved it. I really enjoyed it, I really liked it, but I wouldn't say I loved it. And that's just my personal opinion. I absolutely listen to everybody's opinions, what they think of different books, and everybody is allowed their own opinion, so that is fine. but that is just my opinion. If you do like a really cute summer contemporary read though, this is perfect for that. I definitely recommend it if you're looking for that kind of read. I give this 4 out of 5 stars because, like I said, I really enjoyed it. I just didn't love it. So the next books I have on my list are from the readathon I did last week. So what I will say now is, if you want to hear all of my thoughts and opinions on all of the next few books, I have my Bout of Books readathon wrap up linked in the description below, so you can go check that out because I won't mention too much about them now. So the first book I read in the readathon was a graphic novel, and that was Saga Volume 1, and I loved it. It was so good. I so see the hype around this series. It is brilliant. I don't like sci-fi and I love this series, so if you're in the same kind of boat as me, that you don't really like sci-fi but you've heard so much about this series, definitely give it a read because I can't see you being disappointed. You might be, I'm not a mind reader, but it is just so good. I definitely think you should give it a chance. So this is about a family trying to find their place in the world, and the mum and dad fell in love, but they are from different planets that are at war against each other. So this is not allowed. It's kind of like a forbidden love kind of thing. And they have also had a baby as well, and the story is from the baby's perspective, which I thought was really good. It was really different. Like I said, I loved this story. It was so exciting, lots of twists and turns. I just really enjoyed it. But yeah, if you want to see all my thoughts and opinions on this, then definitely go check out my Bout of Books wrap up, as I talk about it a lot more in there. But I give this 5 stars, I will say that. The second book I read in the readathon was A Whole New World, A Twisted Tale by Liz Braswell. This is an Aladdin retelling, and this is when Jafar is now in charge of Agrabah and he has the lamp. Now Jafar is obviously a really horrible character, he's a villain, so the world is not very nice when he is in charge, and it is up to Aladdin and Jasmine to save their kingdom, but they could also destroy their kingdom by trying to save it. So it's finding that balance and working out what they can actually do. I really enjoyed it, probably not as much as I wanted to. I found it a bit slow in places, but yeah, I still give it 3 stars. It just wasn't as good as I wanted it to be. But yeah, check out my wrap up for the readathon if, again, you want to see any of my thoughts and opinions on this one. The third book I read in the readathon was On the Other Side by Carrie Hope Fletcher. This is about a girl called Evie Snow who dies in her sleep at the age of 82, surrounded by her children and grandchildren. Now, Evie ends up at her own private heaven, but she is now her 27-year-old self, and the gates to her own heaven won't open because her soul is heavy. So she needs to find a way to make her soul light. Now, she has 3 secrets, and she needs to try and communicate those 3 secrets to her friends and family, but obviously she needs to find a way to communicate those secrets because she's dead. She's not there anymore, if you see what I mean. And her family can't see her, can't hear her, anything like that. So it is basically about Evie's journey trying to tell her family and friends about these secrets, how she goes about doing it, and how she gets into her own private heaven. It was a beautiful story, absolutely captivating, it kept me hooked throughout, and I just thoroughly enjoyed it. The only thing I would say very quickly is there was a lot of characters introduced, and it was kind of difficult to keep up with who was related to who, how they were linked to this person, all that kind of thing, but I did get there in the end. It was a really lovely story, and I give this 4 out of 5 stars. Again, check out my review if you want to hear any more of my thoughts and opinions on this one. And the final book I read in the Bout of Books readathon and also for the month is Saga Volume 2. I picked this up for 99p, believe it or not, and this is because of the stamp cards you get at Waterstones. When they're full, you then get £10 off one of your purchases, and this was £10.99, so I got it for 99p. Don't know whether Barnes & Noble do the same thing, I'm not sure, but Waterstones, that's how they work. So I'm not going to say much about this one because obviously it's a continuation from Saga Volume 1, so it's about the Galactic War and these 2 people and their child trying to find a place in the world. They're not allowed to be in love, so they've got enemies after them, trying to kill them. All a bit crazy. Sci-fi kind of graphic novel, very, very good, definitely recommend it, and I give this 5 out of 5 stars as well. I just loved it. And any more thoughts and opinions, once again, check out my Bout of Books wrap up. So that is it for my August wrap up. That seemed to take me ages for once, and I kind of don't mind because it means I've read a lot. I am so happy with everything I've read this month. Like, I could not be happier with how much I've read, so I definitely want to see if I can carry that on for the rest of the year. it's me, who knows what's going to happen, but we will see. I'm in a really big reading mood at the minute, so hopefully I will get lots and lots read over the next few months and possibly hit my Goodreads goal. I'm currently 8 books behind, so maybe not, but we will see. I'm still happy with how much I'm reading at the minute, so that's all that really matters. So if you've enjoyed the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe as always. Let me know in the comments what you've been reading this month and what your favourite read of the month was, and I will see you all in my next video very soon. Bye!